Okay, on the origins of gold as money. Quote from, this is from Salzman, Richard Salzman, Gold and Liberty. We're in chapter 1, page 5. Quote, the first use of gold as money in recorded history was in China, at the time the most advanced civilization in the world, around 1100 BC. To give you an idea, Rome starts its rise, I think it was established 700 BC, and it didn't become an important city till 300 BC or something like this. Greece's golden age was around between 5 and 300 BC. So 1100 BC, you're centuries before Greece and Rome get rolling. It's been said before, nothing's new in China. They were also the first to print anything. And what do you think they printed? Money. That's right, they made specie illegal and printed money. But anyways, they were the first to coin gold as money. Quote, this money took the form of pieces of gold of a standard weight. Eventually, coinage was developed as a seal or hallmark punched on a piece of gold to guarantee its quality or weight. The first gold coins struck in the world west of China came from Lydia around 500 BC. Lydia is in Turkey, modern-day Turkey. Famous for its wealth and luxury, ancient Lydia was an active commercial center in the western part of Asia Minor at the edge of the Aegean Sea. Thus, a demand for money was generated. The Lydians minted their coins with electrum, a mixture of 3 parts gold to 1 part silver. Coins of pure gold were first minted under the reign of Lydia's King Croesus. And you may know about King Croesus. He was said to have had the ability to touch anything and turn it to gold. And there's a lovely little poem by Shel Silverstein, I think, where he tried to eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and it turned to gold, and he tried to hug his daughter and she turned to gold, and it's a curse. Anyways, Lydia, I've said in the past that the Greeks were the first to use coins. I didn't know of this about China 500 years before. And Lydia, not a Greek city in Greece proper, was a Greek city because of colonization. And it was the Greeks that ran Lydia. It was a Greek city for a long time. So the Greeks were the first to coin in the Western world. I'm not surprised that they had it first in China. Now we skip a little bit. Quote, the word pecuniary, pertaining to money, is derived from the Latin pecus, or pecus, P-E-C-U-S, which means cattle. Pecuniary comes from cattle. Quote, cattle were cumbersome because they were not easily transported or divided, and smaller items such as seashells came into use as money. So cattle were a form of money before, well, and after the origin of species. But you can't divide them. What a nuisance that is. And you can't carry one in your pocket. And if you want to make a large purchase, you have to take a whole herd of cattle. That's a nuisance. We skip to the next page. What explains mankind's gradual convergence on gold as money? As I was just saying, cattle, seashells, even feathers have been used. Compared to other commodities being used at various times as media of exchange, gold proved to be the most durable, because it's chemically inert, the most divisible. Seashells and feathers can't be divided. The most portable. Extraordinary amount of wealth can be stored in a very, very small area. And homogeneous. There we go. You couldn't use, for example, diamonds as money because they are not homogeneous. They are not all the same. They are used as a form of money, but each and every single individual diamond has to be appraised. Diamonds, in fact, you can carry more wealth in a smaller area and less weight than gold. Vastly less weight and a smaller area. But you miss out on the homogeneous part and the divisible part, even though you do get the durable bit. So there are lots of things that have some of the bits that is good for money, but gold is really about the best fit mankind has found. Among the precious metals, gold is the least subject to corrosion and has the highest value per weight. I thought that platinum sold for higher, but its mostly uses were industrial. I don't know though. It says here gold is per weight the highest value. As gold's features became more widely recognized and gold coinage increasingly came into use, its marketability was further enhanced. Thus, gold came to be used even in parts of the world where gold money had not originated. Gold money accompanied the rise of civilization and trade. The ancient Greeks learned the use of gold coins from Asiatics. They first minted gold coins in the 4th century BC in Aegina, the Greeks. Now, I contest that. Lydia, where they were minting them 100 years earlier, was a Greek city. It was colonized by the Greeks, and the Greeks identified it as a Greek city for ages to come. So, in Aegina is an island just off the coast of Athens. So, a commercial center, quote, every bit as prosperous as Lydia had been. Gold played a lesser role in ancient Rome than it did in Asia Minor and Greece. There was some circulation of Greek gold coins in southern Italy around the 4th century BC. But the first Roman coin, the Denarius, was made of silver and struck about 268 BC. Eventually gold superseded silver in ancient Rome in a coin called the Aureus, A-U-R-E-U-S. Now, Greece also used silver for coinage, a very great deal of silver. In fact, the silver mines at Laurium gave Athens a great deal of money and allowed it to build its flotilla of triremes, with which it was able to win the battle at Salamis and prevent the invasion and destruction of Greece. They saved themselves because they had found a silver mine, coined a whole bunch of silver coins, and bought fleets of triremes. Now it talks about the decline into the Dark Age, and coining fell away and became less important. And what became more important was just pieces of metal stamped or weighed, and so it didn't matter what it said on it or whatever. It just a piece of metal weighed against something else was money, and then eventually that passed away as well, and barter became the thing. So if you're one of those idiots that thinks that barter is the way to go, you take a look at the Dark Ages and see how their economy worked. Now, as you probably know, Islam stayed under heavy Greek influence in what today is called the Middle East, and they didn't fall right into the Dark Age the way that Rome did, and especially Europe. So eventually coinage came back into Europe from the Middle East. It never really left the Middle East. They didn't ever have the real bad Dark Age. It didn't come until the 12 or 1300s, about the time that Europe was waking up. And the Middle East has been asleep ever since. And in fact, I think the decline began in the 1100s, maybe it was. There was an Islamic scholar in Baghdad who decided that they should move closer to Allah rather than continue to make all these iffy compromises. He said, you know, if this is the true religion, then this is the true religion, and this is the religion we're going to go with. I think that was in the 1100s maybe, but at any rate, you see coinage come back into Europe eventually. Quote, one of the earliest coins was the florin, which is said to have been minted first in Florence in 1252. However, prior to that time, and in fact for 4 centuries thereafter, silver rather than gold was the principal money commodity used in Europe. The history of coinage throughout Europe during this period is for the most part a record of successive devaluations or debasements. For example, the English penny had been fixed at 24 grains of silver in the year 1280. I don't know how much a grain of silver is, but it doesn't matter. This weight had been reduced to the equivalent by the year 1700 from 24 grains down to, by the year 1700, which is 420